It was a quiet night in the small town of Elmswood. The streets were empty. Only the sound of light rain and cold wind filled the air. A broken street lamp blinked near the old church. It was the kind of night where people stayed inside and locked their doors. Tom Walker was not like most people. He was a mechanic who often worked late. His small garage was just across the road from the church. That night, he was closing his shop, wiping oil from his hands when he heard something strange, a soft cry, almost like a whisper. He paused and looked around. There was no one. Then he heard it again. A quiet, painful sound, like someone was hiding and hurt. Tom walked slowly toward the back of the church. The air felt colder. Something didn't feel right. "Hello?" He called out. "Is someone there?" No answer. Only the sound of the wind through the trees. He turned on his phone flashlight and moved closer. Behind the church wall, next to some old stones, he saw something, or someone. A girl. She was sitting on the ground, her back against the wall. Her arms hugged her knees tightly. Her hair was long, silver-like, wet from the rain. She wore nothing but some thin cloth that barely covered her. Her skin looked almost white and faintly glowing. Tom's eyes widened. She looked lost, cold, hurt, but more than that, she didn't look human. "Hey," he said softly. "Are you okay?" The girl looked up quickly, scared. Her eyes were large, violet in color, and filled with fear. She shook her head. Don't see me," she whispered, voice shaking. "They come. I hide." Tom was confused. "Who's coming? Are you running from someone?" The girl tried to stand, but her legs were weak. She fell forward. Tom rushed and caught her before she hit the ground. She felt cold, not like a human. And something else. Her skin had a soft glow, as if light lived inside her. Tom took off his jacket and wrapped it around her. "You're freezing," he said. "Come with me, my place is nearby." She didn't speak. She only looked at him with eyes that seemed to hide galaxies of pain. As Tom helped her walk, he looked behind once more. The shadows near the rooftop of the church seemed to move. But when he looked closely, there was nothing. He took her inside his garage. It was warm and dry. He gave her a towel, a blanket, and sat her on the small sofa he used during breaks. "What's your name?" he asked. The girl stayed silent for a moment, then said very slowly, "I do not know." "You don't remember?" She shook her head. Her hands were shaking. Tom gave her water. She drank it slowly, as if she hadn't had water in days. "I'm Tom," he said gently. "You're safe now. No one will hurt you here." She looked at him, confused, as if trying to understand every word. Then she said, "Safe, not real." Tom didn't know what to say. After a while, she fell asleep on the couch. Tom sat nearby watching. He had so many questions. Where did she come from? Why was she almost naked behind a church? Who was chasing her? As he sat there thinking, the lights in the garage flickered for a second. Then outside, across the road, near the church, a figure stood silently. Tall, still, watching. It wasn't human. Tom didn't see it. But the girl did, even in sleep. Her body shook. Her eyes opened for a moment. She whispered just one word, "Hunter." Then everything went quiet again, narrator voiceover style. Tom had no idea the girl he just saved was not from Earth. He didn't know her blood carried the power to change worlds. And something ... or someone wanted her dead. Asterisk, she said nothing. But her silence was louder than any scream. The night was still. Rain tapped softly on the windows of Tom's garage. Inside, the strange girl slept under a warm blanket. Her silver hair spread across the cushion like moonlight. Tom sat nearby, staring at her, not in a creepy way, but like someone watching a puzzle he couldn't solve. He hadn't slept. Not even for a minute. He kept thinking, who is she? Where did she come from? Why did she say Hunter before falling asleep? The garage clock ticked loudly in the silence. It was 3:37 a.m. Suddenly the girl moved. Tom looked up. She sat up straight. Her eyes were wide open, but wrong. Her pupils had turned bright white. She stared at the wall, not blinking. Tom stood up slowly. Are you okay? She didn't respond. Then she spoke, but the voice was not hers. It was deeper, echoing, as if more than one person was speaking. From inside her, running, hiding, danger, code fractured. Access denied, memory core locked. Tom stepped back. What is this? The girl suddenly gasped and fell back on the couch. Her body shook for a few seconds, and then she stopped moving. Tom rushed to her side. Hey, wake up. Her eyes slowly returned to normal, violet and soft. She blinked. What happened? She asked weakly. You tell me, Tom replied. You were talking like a robot. What the hell was that? She looked confused. I don't remember. Tom sighed and sat back down. This is insane. There was silence again. Then she asked, Where am I? In my garage, Tom replied. You were outside, behind the church. I brought you here. The girl touched her head. I don't know how I got there. Tom looked at her seriously. You're not normal, are you? She stayed. Quiet. You're glowing. You heal fast. You speak like a machine in your sleep. What are you? The girl looked down. I don't know, but I feel different. Like I don't belong here. Tom nodded. Yeah, you don't. Not to this planet. I think. Her eyes met his. For a second, something passed between them. Fear, trust, and something deeper. I have dreams, she said softly. Of a sky full of stars, a golden tower, people kneeling. Then, fire, war, pain. Tom leaned forward. Do you remember your name? She thought for a while. Then, very quietly she said, Lyra. Tom repeated the name. Lyra. Sounds like it's from space. She smiled a little. Maybe I am. Suddenly, a loud beep came from Tom's old computer. He looked at the screen. Unknown signal detected. What's that? Lyra asked. Tom frowned. That's strange. My system just picked up a weird signal. Looks like it's coming from around us. Lyra's face changed. She stood up slowly. They're tracking me. Who's they? Tom asked. She whispered. The ones who took everything from me. Suddenly, outside, dogs began barking in the distance. A car engine roared. Tom ran to the window. A black SUV stopped near the church. Two men stepped out, dressed in dark military clothes. They held scanners sweeping the area. One of them pointed toward Tom's garage. They're coming, Lyra said, her voice low and cold. Tom turned to her. Can you fight? She looked at her hands, scared. I don't know. He grabbed his car keys. Then we run. Narrator, voiceover style. She didn't know who she truly was, but others did, and they would do anything to find her, even if it meant killing anyone in the way. Asterisk, the road was dark and wet. Tom drove fast, hands tight on the steering wheel. Beside him sat Lyra, quiet, staring out the window like the night was calling her back. They didn't speak. Not for the first 10 minutes. Then, without turning her head, Lyra said softly, They won't stop until I'm gone. Tom glanced at her. You really are from somewhere else, aren't you? She nodded, eyes still lost in the dark. Tom pulled the car over near an old forest trail. He didn't want to go home. If those men could track her, nowhere was safe. So he chose the woods. They stepped out into silence. Just trees. Just stars. Tom made a small fire near some rocks. The flames danced between them. He finally asked, Lyra, can you try to remember something? Anything? She closed her eyes. At first, nothing. Then, a flash, fire, screams, a metal corridor, people in armor. A falling ship. Her hands began to shake. I see a tower, she whispered. So tall it touches the stars. My hands glowing with power. People kneeling. Tom leaned in. You were someone important? She looked at him. I think I was born important. But they hunted me. Why? She touched her neck. There was a small scar just under her skin. Tom hadn't noticed it before, but when she pressed it, it glowed faintly. Suddenly her body gave a soft hum, like electricity. And then a tiny hologram appeared from under her palm, just above the FIRELIG. Tom froze. What the hell? The image showed a sigil, a circle of stars around a royal symbol. Then words in a strange language, but Lyra could read it. It says, Daughter of the Thronian core, last of the crown. Tom's mouth opened slowly. Wait, you're not just from another world. You're royalty? Lyra looked away. I was never trained. I was hidden. My mother, she sent me away. Said the bloodline must survive. Tom stood and paced in disbelief. So you're telling me you're an alien princess? Lyra stood too. No, I'm telling you I'm a target. Suddenly, the fire went out, not from wind, but like something pulled the heat away. A sound echoed in the trees. A low, unnatural growl. Lyra's eyes widened. They found me again. Cut to forest POV thermal vision view, closing in on them. Something was moving between the trees. Watching them, hunting. Tom grabbed Lyra's hand. Run. They ran through the woods, branches slapped. Footsteps behind them. Not human. Lyra stopped. I remember something else, she said. How to fight. She closed her eyes. Her hands lit up, glowing silver veins across her arms. Tom stared in shock. A creature jumped from the trees, long arms, glowing. Eyes, sharp teeth. Lyra turned and raised her hand. A shockwave of light burst forward, slamming the creature into a tree. It screamed and disappeared into smoke. Tom stepped back. Okay, you can definitely fight. Lyra dropped to her knees, exhausted. But I can't do it much. Not yet. Tom helped her up. Then we find someone who can help you. Lyra looked at him. But how do we know who to trust? Tom paused. Then said, I know a guy, a scientist, crazy but smart. He talks about aliens all the time. Lyra smiled slightly. Then maybe he's not so crazy. Narrator, voiceover style. She was no longer just a stranger in a garage. She was something ancient, something royal. And her story had just begun. Tom opened his eyes to silence. For a moment, he thought it was a normal day. Then he remembered. The glowing hands, the monster. The hologram. And Lyra, the strange girl who wasn't just a girl. She was something else. Something powerful. He turned his head. Lyra was already awake, sitting near the broken window, staring at the sky. Her silver hair glowed softly in the sunlight. Her face was calm, but her eyes were stormy. She spoke without turning. They're here. Tom sat up. What do you mean, who's here? She didn't answer right away. She just closed her eyes and whispered, the hunters, they never stop. Tom stood up, grabbed his jacket, and peeked outside. The forest was quiet. Too quiet. Not even birds. Then, a strange clicking sound, very soft, very fast. Tom stepped back. What the hell was that? Lyra turned to him. Her voice was steady now. You need to choose, Tom. Either run away and live your human life, or stay and become part of something bigger than this world. Tom looked at her, really looked. This wasn't the same girl he found behind the church. This girl was becoming something else. Before he could answer, there was a loud thud on the roof. Both of them froze. Then, another thud. And another. The roof cracked. Tom grabbed Lyra's hand. Back door, now! They ran, crashing through the back exit of the cabin. The trees ahead were thick, the fog still hanging low. Suddenly something dropped in front of them. It wasn't human. Tall, dark armor, long arms, eyes that glowed red. Tom shouted, "Move!" But Lyra didn't run. She stepped forward. Her hands began to glow again, brighter this time. She raised one palm toward the creature and spoke in a language Tom didn't understand. The creature froze, like it recognized her. Then, in a deep voice, it hissed, "Thronian blood." "Must die," it charged. Lyra reacted fast. She slammed her hand into the ground. A wave of energy exploded from her, silver light shooting through the trees. The creature flew backward, smashing into a tree, but it wasn't alone. Two more appeared. From the mist, Tom grabbed a broken branch. "This is bad." Lyra backed up, breathing hard. "I'm not strong enough yet," Tom thought quickly. "There's a bunker. Old military site. About 20 minutes from here. My friend, the scientist. He used to hide out there." Lyra nodded. "Then we go now. Before they call more." They ran again, deep into the forest. Behind them, the hunters screamed, a horrible, high-pitched sound that shook the trees. Cut to secret lab room, another location. A man sits in front of strange tech. Bald, old, with one robotic eye. He watches their every move on a screen. He speaks into a recorder. "Target Alpha has awakened. Energy readings confirmed. Thronian royalty. Prepare containment." He smiles. This time she won't escape. Narrator voiceover style. She was running out of time. He was running out of choices, and somewhere in the shadows, the real enemy was already watching. Asterisk, a heavy metal door opened with a deep creak. Dust flew into the cold air. Tom led Lyra inside, flashlight in hand. The place smelled like rust and secrets. The bunker had been used during the Cold War, forgotten by most, remembered only by one, Dr. Malcolm Reyes. He was waiting. Lyra hesitated at the entrance. "This place feels wrong," she said softly. Tom turned back. "He's strange, yeah. But he knows things. He might know what you are." She nodded, but her eyes stayed alert. Inside the bunker, dim lights, old tech still humming. Dr. Malcolm Reyes looked like a man who had once trusted the stars and been betrayed by them. Long white coat, sharp eyes, one arm completely metal. He looked at Lyra without blinking. "Fascinating," he said, stepping closer. "You're not just alien. You're royal breed." Tom stepped between them. "We need help, not study time." Reyes gave a tired smile. "Help is expensive, and sometimes dangerous." Lyra tilted her head. "How do you know who I am?" Reyes turned to an old screen. He typed in a few commands. The monitor lit up. A symbol appeared, the same one Lyra had shown in her hologram. "I've been tracking this signal for 10 years, Reyes said. "It activated again the night you landed. You're the last of them, aren't you?" Lyra looked down. "I don't know what I am." Tom watched them both. Something felt off. Flashback sequence. Lyra's memory fragment. Voice distorted, lights flashing. Lyra suddenly grabbed her head. Images slammed into her brain. A woman with silver eyes saying, "Hide your name." Trust no one. Soldiers shouting. A ship crashing. A child crying in a mirror. She gasped and fell to the floor. Tom rushed to her. "Lyra." Reyes didn't move. He only observed. "That's a memory download," he said calmly. "Her core is unlocking." Later, inside the bunker, Lyra asleep. Tom confronts Reyes. Tom pulled the scientist aside. "Tell me the truth. Are you helping us or using her?" Reyes stared. "I'm helping science. You think she's just a lost girl? She's a living gateway to technology we don't understand. To a civilization beyond Earth." Tom's voice got louder. "She's a person, not a lab project." Reyes leaned in. "You don't even know if she's telling you the truth." Tom frowned. "What? Have you seen her memories? No. Have you seen any ship wreckage? No. How do you know she's not leading you into something worse? Tom stayed quiet. Doubt started crawling in his chest like cold metal fingers. Meanwhile, Lyra wakes up, overhears the conversation. She didn't need to hear every word. She felt it. She stood up slowly and looked at her hand. The glow was weaker now. She whispered to herself, "No one ever stays. They always leave when fear begins." A small tear rolled down her cheek, the first time she cried since landing on Earth. Sudden alarm, red lights start flashing. Beep, beep, beep. Ray's ran to the console. "They found us," he said. "They followed her signal here." Tom looked at Lyra. She stood in the corner, alone, distant, unreadable. "Did you lead them here?" he asked, the question falling out before he could stop it. Lyra's face broke. She looked at him like her heart had cracked in two. "I didn't want this," she whispered. Then the roof shook. The walls, vibrat. And outside the bunker, the sound of heavy feet. And inhuman growls. Narrator, voiceover style. She didn't choose to be special. She didn't choose to be hunted. But when trust breaks, even heroes fall. The bunker was burning. Smoke and sparks filled the sky as Tom and Lyra ran through the forest, ducking branches, breathing hard. Behind them, shouts, scanners, searchlights. The hunters were everywhere now, faster, stronger, more desperate than ever. But something had changed in Lyra. She no longer looked afraid. She looked like someone remembering who she was. Flashback glimpses, Lyra's mind, voice of her mother echoes. "If the core is lost, find the light. If they chase you, head to the stone with no shadow." The gate remembers royal blood. Tom spoke between breaths. "Where are we going?" Lyra pointed forward. "The hills. There's a portal hidden there. My mother once said it opens only for our blood." Tom gave her a sharp look. "You knew about this all along?" She shook her head. "No, I only just remembered. The closer I get to it, the more pieces return." Tom didn't answer. His trust was cracked. But he still ran with her, because something deep down still believed her. Scene change. Top of the hill. Large stone circle, overgrown with moss. They reached it. A circle of black stone stood in the ground, ancient, silent, cold. No machines. No lights. Just stillness. Tom stared. "This is it?" Lyra stepped forward. Nothing happened. She placed her hand on the stone. It stayed cold. Her heart sank. "I don't understand," she said. "This is the place. I feel it." Tom looked back toward the trees. Flashlights moved between them. "They're almost here," he warned. Lyra stepped back, her voice shaking. "Why won't it open?" Tom stepped closer to her. "Maybe it needs more than touch." She turned to him. "Like what?" He reached out and took her hand. The moment their hands touched, the stone lit up. Soft silver light. Then gold. Then bright white. The circle vibrated. A low hum filled the air. The portal opened, like a curtain of light bending the stars behind it. Lyra gasped. "It responded to you." Tom's eyes widened. "That's not possible. I'm human." Lyra stared at him. Double quotes. "No, you're not just human," she said slowly. "Something in you matches me." Meanwhile, behind the trees, the hunters stopped running. A new voice echoed from the darkness. "It has opened. She is near. The portal must not activate." A massive figure stepped forward, larger than any seen before, covered in dark armor. Red eyes burning like fire. It wasn't a hunter. It was their commander. Back at the portal, Lyra turned to Tom. "If I go through, I don't know if I can return." Tom's heart raced. "And if you don't, they'll take me. Or kill me, or worse, use me to find my people." A pause. Then Tom asked, "If I go with you, will I survive?" Lyra didn't lie. "I don't know." But she held out her hand anyway, and this time, he didn't hesitate. They step into the light, together. Behind them, the commander let out a scream that shook the trees. The portal closed. Silence returned. Final shot. On the other side of the portal, unknown planet, twin moons, silver skies. Tom opened his eyes. He wasn't on Earth anymore. And Lyra? She stood tall now, glowing, calm, her eyes shining like stars. "Welcome to Thronia," she said, narrator, voiceover style. The past was behind them, but the war was just beginning. Tom had never seen a sky like this. Too silver. Moons hung low above golden mountains. The wind smelled like metal and flowers. Cities floated in the distance, cracked, silent, and half-lit. Lyra stood beside him, wearing armor that shimmered faintly. Her body looked stronger now. Her eyes were calm. But her heart wasn't. "This was my home," she said. "Before they burned it." Tom looked at her. "Can it be saved?" She nodded slowly. "Maybe, but I might not be the one to do it." Inside the ancient throne hall, broken, echoing, sacred, they stepped inside what was once a royal palace. Empty. Chairs, torn banners. A giant seal on the floor, the same glowing symbol from Lyra's memories. She knelt and touched it. Immediately, a recording lit up, her mother's face. A soft voice echoed, "If you are hearing this, it means you survived. My child, you carry the final code. Activate the core, and the people will find you." The message ended, and the seal began to glow. A new voice from the shadows. "You should have died on Earth." The commander had followed them. Armored, tall, burned, furious. "How did you open the portal?" he demanded. That bloodline should have ended. Lyra stood between him and Tom. "It didn't." She raised her hands. This time, her light was different, brighter. Not just energy, but memory, history, royal power. A shockwave of silver. Light burst across the hall. The commander flew backward, crushed by the force. When the light faded, he was gone. Outside, the city wakes. Lights across the ruined city flickered back to life. Floating drones rose from the ground. Screens lit up. A voice called out in Thronian language, and people began stepping out of hiding. Survivors. They stared at Lyra. And then they knelt. Tom stepped back, quietly watching. He was proud, but also he knew this wasn't his world. Later, a balcony overlooking the new dawn. Lyra stood quietly. Tom joined her. "You saved them," he said. "You helped me remember who I was," she replied. They stood in silence. Then she asked, "Will you stay?" Tom looked at the sky, at the stars above, and then at the earth, just a blue dot far, far away. "I don't belong here," he said softly. Lyra looked down, hurt but understanding. "I know." Final moments. At the portal stone. They stood where the new portal had formed. It glowed faintly, like it knew this was the last moment. Lyra handed Tom something small, a round silver pendant. "What is it?" he asked. She smiled. "A key, for when you're ready to return." Tom looked at her one last time. She leaned forward and whispered, "This isn't goodbye." He stepped through the portal. Light swallowed him. Cut to earth. Months later, Tom in his garage again. Everything looked the same. Except for the pendant around his neck. He looked up at the stars every night now. He fixed engines by day. But his eyes were somewhere else. Final shot, in deep space. A new threat awakens, inside a hidden ship. Dark machines activated. A voice whispered, "The royal core has returned. Begin phase 2. Narrator, voiceover style. They thought it ended with a goodbye. But destiny has a strange way of circling back. Screen fades to black. Series title appears. Royal Blood, The Last Thronian, coming soon. Season 2, The Core War.